I want to talk about some of the things that men are hearing and some of the things that men get, um, and some of the things that men are hearing. This is one of the things that men have to understand. A lot of y'all fellas that are on here and fellas that are listening right now. What I'm hearing a lot of is men hearing this thing about, yo, don't get a woman right now. You know, stay on your purpose. Look, I get it. Try to get on your purpose. Try to get your life together. Sure. I'm totally with that. But this sounds a lot like the advice that women got in the 80s, which turned out to be really terrible advice. Thanks, Cosmo. This turned out to be some of the worst advice that women got in the 70s and 80s. What happened was a bunch of women who couldn't get a man but got popping and got on TV and got on different types of platforms told other women that having a man and having a family wasn't valuable. And your career was just the thing to focus on. Don't worry about getting a man. Don't worry about having a family. Don't worry about any of that. Just focus on your career. Focus on getting money. It's crazy because now I'm seeing where men are being told the same exact thing. And the thing about it is, it sounds good because it's basically telling you to double down on something you're probably already good at. Hey, I'm already good at my career. I'm already good at going to work every day. I'm already good at studying and getting my degrees. This is what I'm already good at. So I'm going to double down on that and not develop any of the other things that I'm struggling with. So yeah, I'm 20 years old and I'm going to stop dating until I'm 35 years old and I got a bank account full of money and I got everything else that I want out of life. This is what I'm going to do. And there's plenty of people who give out this same type of advice. It's not just even one person. And there's nothing wrong with getting yourself together and getting yourself in order. But the problem that you start running into is that you don't really solve the core problem. This is what happened to a lot of women. So now you got a lot of women who are in their late 30s, early 40s, who have spent all their time focusing on their careers, all of their time really just building up what they were already good at. Now they look up and they're like, wait a minute, I can see my future a little bit better. Because when you're in your 20s, it's very difficult to see your future. It's very difficult to think of what you're going to be like at 65 when you're 25. It's very difficult. But when you start getting to be 45, it starts to be a lot easier to look up and go, wait a minute. Even at 35, it starts to be a lot easier to look up and go, wait a minute, I'm going to be 75 one day. This is real. And now what? Yeah, you're saving your money because you don't have kids. Yeah, you might even be traveling and all that because you don't have kids. And it sounds really cool to not have kids and not have family and not have anything holding you down. It seems great. But once you get to a certain age where the beach party is over and now you're relying on family, you're relying on the fact that you've built these bonds because now you're 75 and you can't really be up in the club. You probably don't want to be the 75-year-old in the club with a walker or a cane or something like that. You probably don't want to be that person. But now you put yourself in a position where you don't really have anything else to lean back on. You don't have anything else to do other than really just to try to double down on your career, which is probably over by now. So this is what people have taught you from back in the day, but they don't tell you what it leaves you with. Arson Games? Thanks, man. Appreciate you. People don't tell you what it leaves you with. Basically, now you've become a corporate slave. And this is all you have is to lean into your job and give them the best years of your life. All you have is to push forward on your job and get that promotion. Because if you don't get that, it's like, well, what else do I have? And I'm seeing men being told the same thing, and men are trying to do the same thing. Here's what I'm good at. I'm going to lean into that. I'm not going to work on my interpersonal skills. I'm not going to work on how I manage relationships. Well, women are dream killers. If you still feel like your woman is a dream killer, that means that you are struggling to manage your relationships. If you get with a woman and you stop doing all the things that you were doing, then that's probably where you are right now. You're probably only focusing on your goals because you just got dumped by somebody, or the chick that you liked decided not to like you, decided to get with one of your homeboys or something like that, or decided to get with some dude that had his shirt off on the beach. Now you want to double down on your goals and on your dreams and your aspirations as a shelter to hide in. This is what a lot of women learned back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, mostly in the 70s and 80s. This is what a lot of women learned from a lot of other women who couldn't keep a man. I can't hold down a man, so let me tell you how smart it is to sit up there and just avoid your problems in corporate America. Yo, go get a job. Go get a business. Get a Benz. That's going to change everything. Now, all of a sudden, men are going to love you because you got a Benz. Men are going to love you because you got money in your pocket. But what they didn't tell women is you don't want the type of man that's going to want you because you got money in your pocket. You don't want the type of man that's going to want you because you got a big house. You don't want the type of man that's going to want you because you have a 401k. You don't want this type of dude. You want a guy who's got his own money. You want a guy who's going to be able to support you. And unfortunately, even if you don't need the support, you don't want a guy who's going to sit there and be ready to mooch off of you. Nobody told these women that. Nobody told them that. So you got a lot of women who have wasted a lot of their years and wasted a lot of their youth being a slave to corporate America. You got a lot of men who are going to do the exact same thing. They just don't know it. What a lot of y'all have been taught is, yeah, man, just get on your grind. Just get on your grind. Don't worry about your relationships. Don't worry about building your ability to have good relationships, because that's not going to matter once you get all this money. Once you become a multi-millionaire, women are just going to fall in your lap. Newsflash, when you become, most of you won't become a multi-millionaire. No disrespect to anybody. That's just the numbers. Most of you won't become a multi-millionaire. But even if you did, if you haven't developed the interpersonal skills, if you haven't developed the relationship skills that it takes to maintain any type of real relationship with a woman, even when you get $1 million, all you're going to be doing is competing with other people with $1 million. So what you think you're going to do? You're going to get $1 million and go date the girl that you could have got when you were working at McDonald's? You're not going to do that. You're going to try to get girls that are operating in that upper echelon. You're going to try to get girls that you can get based on the fact that you're doing better financially, which means that you're going to be competing with people who are doing just the same thing that you're doing, or maybe a little bit less or a little bit more, but a lot of them are going to be cooler than you. A lot of them are going to be better looking. A lot of them are going to be people who actually were dating along the way, and now they have game and they have an understanding of how to manage relationships, and you don't. It's nothing that you ever going to do in life that's just going to completely take you out of competition. This is what a lot of women learned in the 70s and 80s, and they're finding out as time goes on that ain't it. That ain't it. You know, oh man, if you get a man, if you get some money in your pocket, if you get rich and all that, you won't need a man. But then they found out that nobody was really going to be Oprah. This is what happened. They looked up and they found out, man, you know what? I'm not Oprah. That was cool for her maybe. But I'm actually just working 60 hours a week trying to maintain this big ass house that I live in all by myself. I got 4 degrees. Sounds cool. Looks great on my wall. But I don't have the interpersonal skills to be able to maintain a relationship with an actual man. I don't have the ability to do that. Now I'm 40, 45 years old. I don't have any kids. That means I'm never going to have any grandkids. Some people even listen to their moms. And, you know, a lot of times your mom wasn't able to maintain a relationship with a man. So what she told you was, you don't need a man. Double down on your career, getting your money right, and all that kind of stuff, because that's what you need. But now you look at your mom, and your mom 45, 50, 60 years old, whatever her age is now. Think about how much time your mother spends bothering you, really. Think about how much time she spends all up in your business. And you didn't even have a kid. So her main focus in life is you. You don't even have that. I'm just keeping it real. I'm going to go into that, Lulu, about how to improve interpersonal skills. So I'm just keeping it real with you. A lot of y'all made a mistake there, and we got to work on that.
Pops, I'm hurt. She done left me, man. What you think I should do? Boy, back in my day, all you had to do was go to her job and you cry and you get down on your knees. You beg and plead for her sympathy. I'm telling you, boy, that's all you gotta do. Pops, you talking about stalking her. That's a crime now. Yo, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. And I know y'all tired of getting the same old 1965 game that never works. Well, click the link below and check out 9 ways to get your ex back. This is cold-hearted game where I give you different techniques to turn the tables on your ex and get them chasing you for a change.